Hello everyone, welcome to Java Expert. In today's video, we will discuss about how we can integrate ChatGPT with our component, which are going to develop using Spring Boot. I hope most of you guys already know what is ChatGPT. So it is AI-based chatbot. So so you can ask any query. So uh, mostly you will get no exact answers or response from ChatGPT that you can I think would have been tried uh, that GPT. I would have asked some questions and you see how that responses in ChatGPT. Okay, so the ChatGPT, they are providing some open APIs which we can integrate with our components. So it will support for multiple programming languages. We can use Java, Python, Node.js. So those things we can use to integrate it. So today we are going to integrate using Spring Boot. So before getting into that coding part, you'll see few information about this API in their documentation, which will help us to yeah, implement it in our component. So this is their visual documentation for integrations. So the developers needs to read through this document so that they can understand what is the input format, what is the response we're getting back, how these authentications will happen. Those information they are being documented here, which we can just quickly look at it here. So this is the request. So the API name they named as completions API. So this is the request JSON. So here you can see this is they're given for a call command. So this is a JSON format which we have to frame it, right? Like we have to mention the model and the messages. So model is something like they have named as a model where they have different types of uh, format they will be accepting it. So today we are going to use this GPT 3.0 turbo. This is the model we are going to use it. So for this model, this is the format. For messages, we will have a contain, role, and content. So role can be either system, user, assistant, either of this, and the content will be a query actual questions we can put over there. And for to initiate this request, you need a account. So you have to first register with OpenAPI portal. And so anyway, there are you can do subscriptions as well as we are going to we are going to use the free version. So we don't need to pay anything here. So in the free version, there are certain limitations like there are rate limits. They set uh, like for per minute only you can give the request and per day per month limit we have. And similar way for the authentication. So authorization we need a para token. So that there also they have certain limit for per month how many keys we can able to generate it certain things. So authorization will happen through bara token which we will be generating in OpenAPI portal, and we will be frame this request. And I think you've seen this request, right? So the response will be like this. So the response format will have like this. Basically, it's going to be a list of choices. Like choices will have certain information like a finish reason, index, and this is what our main part. Message will have a content. This is a response. Sorry, this is a response content, and they give it a role. There are many other informations will have it in the response like created ID, model, object, usage. Most of the things, if you want, we can handle it in the code. We can get and we can print or whatever we need. We can do that. But now, what we are going to focus on, we are going to see the content. What is the response? So this is mainly we are looking for it, right? So we are going to get the content and we are going to see the responses. Okay. So mainly, we need a request format, we need a response format, and we need an endpoint, right? So endpoint is going to be this is the endpoint. This is the URL openapi.openapi.com slash v1 slash chat slash completions. This is the URL, right? It will accept the JSON. We know the request format. So for authorization, we need API key. I tell you how to generate the API key, and we know the response. So based on this, we can create the models, and we can build the object, request object, and we can hit the response object. I'll give this documentation URL in the description so you can go through. And for API keys, This is the URL where you can generate the APIs. I already generated one key. So I tell you how to generate other one more key, and we can see that. Right. So I hope you understand, right? This is so there are many other details they are given with respect to this API which you can go through. This is the basic things we are going to implement it using Spring Boot. How we can implement, integrate with ChatGPT. So we quickly create a project and we'll see how we can do that. So I'm just gonna create a quickly chat GPT, right? Chat GPT. This thing so can be fine. Okay, so one thing is because now it is not the Java version is not coming 8 at all. So initially I'm creating with 17 and we will edit the form because I don't have a 17 in my system. Java 17 is not getting installed. So what difference is we need a Spring Verb. That's enough. We'll wait for some time to that project is getting created. Meantime, what we have to do is we go and edit this pom.xml because we don't have Java 17. So we are changing the version Spring version to 2.6.4 and Java version to 8. There are only 8 in my system, right? So and then we'll do Maven update. It will help to update the project. Just wait for some time. I think this project is ready. So uh, what we have to do now, we have to create the model first. The request and response model we have to create it, right? So before getting to that coding part, we will test once with the Postman, so that with that we can able to easily create the models. So I'm just copying this curl. So here we have a copy option. Go to Postman. We'll do import. Paste that. So this entire things will be getting framed automatically. We'll see the body. This is over there, but they have given the request of three requests, right? You are helpful assistant, you want some, so we no need to have three requests. I'm just removing last two, so we will have, so we are having only one request here. So what is having, we have model and messages will have role and content, right? And we'll just go to header part. Header we have a bearer token, so this is we have to replace with actual token. I'll just go there, go to open API keys page. I'm just create a new key, my latest key. Okay, create secret key here. The key is created. You can copy this and go to Postman. Just replace this bearer space and the token. Right. The token is ready. Body is ready. I'll just initiate the request now. Right. We are getting the response. Right. We got a response code as 200, and we got the response. So now we know the request and response. So for this, we will create a model. So what we need is we need a model with model. I think the attribute is model and a list of messages. This is the two things we need. And the list of messages, message will contain role and content. So first we'll create package dot model. So first we need a messages, right? Class is called message. We need message is having, what is that? Message is having role and content. So this we will create it. Byte string role content. Just creates headers and setters. Right. So message is ready. Now let's create our what we can do, chat GPT request object. So what is having, the request object is having model as a string and list of messages, right? So this is the two things we have to create it. Provide string model. Provide, what do you need? List of message, right? Uh, okay. So let's create headers and setters. Right. So now the request object is ready for us. Now we'll go for a response. So when you're coming to response, we have a many fields which we may not have to use everything. Okay, so we are focusing only this area. Choices, basically a list of choices which will have a message. Message will have a role and content. So this object we already have. Now we just will create a choice object. Choice. So choice is having a list of message. No, choice is having message, right? So we'll just put a message here. Private. There are other things index which we know to know. We're not going to consider. We're not going to use it. So we're not creating that. Source getters and setters. Okay. So now choice object is ready, and then we'll create a response object which will have a list of choices, right? Class chat GPT response is going to be a response which is having a list of choices. So private of choice choices. Create getters and setters. Right now our response object also ready. Now our models everything is ready. Let's know. We'll create one controller. What we can do is chat GPT controller. Create like this. The controller. Okay. So now what we need a one endpoint. Public will have a string a certain type and get chat GPT. Okay, so we'll pass us what we can pass. We will pass a string, a query, right? So it can be in a I'll pass it in body request body. Going to be a string. This is going to be a query, right? And next, so okay, so basically that's is a endpoint, right? That's a URL which you have to call. We can use a REST template to initiate this REST call. So with that, we can get the response back from AP, no, the ChatGPT. So we'll create REST template. New REST template, right? Next, what we can do is we have to create HTTP headers. Okay, because we have this authorization, right? So authorization that we have to pass it in the header. So we need a header. So HTTP header new header, right? So header dot add, and so these things we can see it from here. What is the header we are passing it? So there are two header content type. It is not mandatory to set. But this we have to set authorization and query. So this exact value we have to copy and paste it here. Not coding it. This can be parameterized or can be not in the parameters. It should be in the somewhere in the property kind of things. Anyway, just to demonstrate you, I'm just hard coding it here. So headers are done. Next, we have to create a HTTP entity. Okay, entity. So what is the request is going to be? This is going to be uh, what we are going chat GPT request, right? So entity equal to new HTTP entity of chat. So we okay. We have to before getting to this, we have to create the request object. So what we can do is first we'll create a request object here. What is our request object? Chat GPT chat GPT correct only, right? GPT request equal to new request. Okay, why this thing? So request need a request. So request need a message. So we'll create a message object equal to new message message dot set content. So this is going to be a query. We'll passing through Postman. So that will set here. One more is message dot set role. So this is the role which we have to fix it. So this is the role, right? GPT 3.0 turbo, which we will put it, right? So now message object is ready. Sorry, not role. Okay, not okay. That role is system. System or user, not this one. This is a model, right? In pass user. So with this one, message object is ready. Now what we need to do is we have to prepare the request object. So request dot set message. It's going to be message. Okay, that's anyway list of messages, right? So for that you have to create the list of message. Going to be messages. New array list. Now that add of message. Right. So messages is we have added. What is it? How to add messages, right? So this is done, and now a request dot set messages is done, and request dot set model. So this is where the place where we have to put this one GPT 3.5 turbo, right? So request object is now ready. We have created a messages that we have added, and model is set. So request is ready. So REST template we have created header, and the entity we have to pass the request comma header, right? Now the entity is ready. Next we'll call the REST template dot exchange of uh, string method request entity and response. I think this is before. Okay. So first is URL. So URL we have to take it from here. So this is the endpoint URL, right? So first parameter is URL. Next is method is http method dot post, and entity is set, and not this method, it is not required. And this is response type. So chat GPT on start class, right? So this will return entity response. This will return response entity, right? Response entity of this type, gen chat GPT response. So, can convert from response entity response. So, right. So now we got the response entity. Now what we can do is we'll return the response. So we need a string there. This we will focus only on that content, the response text. So that we will extract from this object. So entity dot get body dot get choices. The choices is a list of choice, right? So we'll get first one, index of 0, which will have again role and content. We will get content. Sorry, okay. This will have a message object. Message object is having role and content. I will get a content. So this is string, I think, right? No. Yes. So this is the that content. So I think now we have done everything. Objects, everything are created. Okay. One thing we're missing here. This should be annotated with REST controller. Right. So now what is our endpoint? Okay, that is also missing here. Going to be post mapping, but what we can do is going to be chat. Right. So where we don't set any property, so service will start with 8080 port. Let's start the service. Okay, so service is started. Let's go to Postman. We'll create new tab. It's going to be a post request. So this is our endpoint localhost 8080 slash chat, and body will pause raw data. It's going to be a text, right? Here we have to put our query. Can you sample Java code for addition, right? I'll put a question mark here. I'll send the request. We'll see what is we're getting it. Yeah, we got a response back. See, the status code is 200. So this is the response we're getting it. Certainly, here is a simple Java code, like in the exact code we are getting it. So right. So now we successfully integrated our component with ChatGPT and we're getting the response back, right? So put some other few more questions. What is uh, what is Chennai's? What is capital? Getting it. And I'll see one more thing also. See, for our free account, per minute request is only 3. If you are giving fourth request within now minute of time frame, you will get too many request error from the Open API means like for every minute you can give maximum 3 requests. We are getting some error. We'll see the log connection timeout. So basically, this is some, I think, ChatGPT servers, I think, busy, is not able to respond back in the defined timeout of time, the defined timeout period. So we're getting timeout. Anyway, we'll try again. So I think we may not get all the time. So now we are getting the response. So the capital of Tamil Nadu is Chennai. What we can do is now giving the request keep now continuously. Give a second request success. Now third is success. Again the fourth. Now you see you are getting this internal server error. We go and see the log what we are getting it. See 429. Too many requests. Rate limit reached for this. For this model per minute we can request maximum of 3 queries. If when we are trying for fourth one, we'll get this error. So we have to wait for one more that minute to complete to initiate the next request. So we'll wait for some time, then we'll initiate another request and we'll see what's happening. So now I think 1 minute's over. We'll go new request, some different request. Will you be able to speak? We'll just ask this one. So I'll put a request. Yeah, we are getting the response now. Yes, I am capable of speaking. That's the response we are getting. It will give one more request, getting the same response. Yeah, now for the same question, getting some different response. Yes, I am a language based model and I can speak by generating text based responses. Okay, so that's it, guys. I just want to show you. Uh, I think we have an option to integrate with ChatGPT. So in our custom base, if you want to build your custom based chatbot or you want to integrate with ChatGPT, that's a very easy way to we can integrate with ChatGPT. We are given a easy documentation and even the authorizations is not much complicated. It's a very easy one. We can easily generate the bearer token and that we can use to integrate an authentication and we can get the response. Right. So I'll share this documentation links in the description area where you can find and go through the document. There are many other options they have provided it. We have taken this one model, right? GPT 3.5 turbo. There are many other models they are given which have some different inputs and output formats. So those things also you can explore. Going to be a much interesting one. So I hope you guys enjoying this video. So just put your thoughts in the comment section, like the video and share with your friends if someone is interested in this sort of integrations, mostly for AI based chatbots, AI things. And I'll see you with some other video soon. Thank you guys.